Dear viewers of the Fairy on the Mountain channel, in Tao Te Ching, it is written, misfortune follows fortune, and fortune has misfortune lying in wait. The life of every person is a cycle of intertwined blessings and misfortunes, gains and losses. Sometimes what appears to be a loss is actually a reminder or guidance helping us achieve greater things in life. If you encounter these three troubling situations, it may actually be heaven helping you. 1. Minor illness, a reminder to take care of your body. Han Feezy said, "A 1,000-mile-long embankment can collapse because of an ant's burrow. A 100-foot house can burn to ashes because of a small spark. The development of anything starts with small changes, and when these accumulate to a certain level, qualitative transformation occurs. The same applies to our bodies. At first, you may only feel minor ailments, aches, or discomfort, but if left unchecked, they can develop into severe, incurable diseases over time. Humans, being creatures who consume grains, are bound to experience illness. When minor illnesses appear, it is a warning to take care of your health. Proper care and timely treatment can restore your body to its healthy state. However, some people either ignore early signs, fear medical treatment, or lack the financial means, allowing minor issues to worsen into chronic or severe conditions. Maintaining a positive mindset, addressing illnesses promptly, and staying active through exercise are essential principles for modern living. 2. Encountering unkind people, a reminder to be cautious in relationships. Before building relationships, one must remain clear-headed and avoid being deceived by appearances, which could betray one's sincerity. As the ancients said, choose friends wisely. Building friendships is not just superficial interaction but involves sharing emotions, thoughts, and sometimes even values. To avoid being hurt, the first step is to be discerning when choosing friends. Trusting too quickly or being overly generous with one's sincerity without understanding the other person can lead to painful consequences. The harm in relationships often stems not from others' actions but from our own lack of caution in allowing untrustworthy people into our lives. An important principle in relationships is to maintain self-respect and personal boundaries. As relationships develop, it may be tempting to extend trust and sincerity. However, this does not mean compromising your values or principles to sustain a connection. If someone disrespects your boundaries or demands you change to suit their preferences, it is a clear sign the relationship is unhealthy. A good relationship is built on mutual respect and shared values. Moreover, sincerity is not always reciprocated. While we can give and share, we cannot force others to treat us the way we treat them. What matters most is preserving self-respect and recognizing your worth. Never let someone make you lose faith in yourself simply because they fail to appreciate your sincerity. 3. Business difficulties, a reminder to step out of comfort. As Mencius said, life arises from hardship, death comes from ease. When people live too comfortably, they lose their sense of urgency and awareness of challenges, gradually losing vitality. Like a frog in a pot of warm water, slowly losing its life force. If you remain within your comfort zone, you risk losing your drive. Over time, learning and development stagnate, and you fall behind the times. Today's society no longer values seniority but relies on competence and capability. Thus, when your career faces difficulties, it is worth reflecting on whether you have become too complacent. The Book of Songs says, "The stones of Mount Tai can polish jade." Similarly, challenges in life are tools to refine and strengthen you. When you feel stuck, consider looking at things from a different perspective. Often, a shift in approach can reveal new opportunities. Remember, life is never perpetually smooth nor entirely fraught with obstacles. Ultimately, the outcome depends on your understanding and choices. As the proverb says, intentionally planting flowers may yield no bloom. Carelessly planting willows may form a forest. In life, trying too hard to control or hold on to everything often results in loss. Like gripping sand in your hand, the tighter you hold, the faster it slips away. Have you ever experienced this state of being, always wanting to control everything, only to realize that your efforts are in vain? Instead, try letting go and going with the flow. Open your hands, and you may find that you gain more than you lose. The ancients said, life and death are predetermined, Wealth and honor are given by heaven. Thus, in all things, letting nature take its course is often the best choice. Most of our worries stem from being overly attached to gains and losses or obsessing over specific issues. People often amplify their own concerns or pursue too much, losing the peace and joy they originally had, only to fall into suffering. There's no need to overperform or exaggerate in life. Handle everything with a calm and natural mindset. By going with the flow, you may achieve the best outcomes. When faced with difficulties and unable to find a solution, sometimes the best approach is to let things unfold naturally. When the calligrapher was writing, a beloved student sat beside him, diligently grinding ink. For each piece of calligraphy the master completed, the student would straightforwardly offer his opinions. After one particular piece, the student remarked, "Master, this one isn't beautiful." With each piece the calligrapher wrote, the student felt dissatisfied, believing the master had not demonstrated his full potential. The master wrote numerous pieces, but the student repeatedly commented, "This piece is even worse than the last." Suppressing his feelings, the calligrapher continued, producing as many as 8 pieces without receiving any praise from the student. Finally, the student asked to step outside. Relieved, the master thought, "At last, I've escaped his scrutinizing gaze." He calmed himself and, with a relaxed and natural state of mind, created another piece of calligraphy, unconcerned about the outcome. When the student returned and saw the new work, he exclaimed, "This is truly a masterpiece." This illustrates that in life, when we obsessively strive for perfection, we are often met with disappointment. However, when we let go and follow the natural flow, we may achieve results beyond expectation. This is the principle that the ancients described as not seeking, yet naturally obtaining. The beard dilemma of Taizong. Taizong was a celebrated writer, calligrapher, and official during the Northern Song dynasty. His lush beard earned him the nickname Mei Nian Gong, Lord of the Beautiful Beard. Emperor Song Ranzong was so fond of Taizong's beard that he jokingly asked, "When you sleep at night, do you tuck your beard inside or leave it outside the blanket?" Caught off guard by the question, Taizong realized he had never paid attention to this detail and could not answer. That night, he alternated between tucking his beard inside and leaving it outside the blanket, unsure which was more comfortable. As a result, he couldn't sleep all night. Later, he understood that under normal circumstances, there was no need to deliberate. Letting his beard follow its natural position was best. This story reveals that matters as ordinary as how we sleep or wake up should not be overthought. Overly fixating on something can lead to discomfort, as it disrupts the natural order. The dog and its tail. A fable tells of a young dog tirelessly chasing its own tail. After exhausting itself, the dog lay on the ground, panting. An older dog passing by asked, "What's the matter?" The young dog replied, "A friend told me that if I could catch my tail, I'd find eternal happiness. So I chased it endlessly and now I'm completely worn out." The old dog sighed and said, "When I was young, I also believed that catching my tail would bring me happiness. I chased it relentlessly just like you. But later, I realized that happiness and joy are not something to pursue. They naturally follow us, just like a tail does." The moral is that happiness and joy are integral parts of life, yet many fail to appreciate them. People often chase after fame, wealth, and material pleasures, wearing themselves out in the process, only to find these pursuits bring no true contentment. True happiness can only be attained by embracing the natural flow of life. The wisdom of contentment. Dear readers, living a life of contentment, knowing when to stop, and following the natural order are keys to inner peace amid the ever-changing world. To know contentment is a profound wisdom, and one of the hardest lessons in life is learning to feel satisfied. Excessive desires lead to constant striving, trapping people in a cycle of endless pursuit and dissatisfaction. The Tao Te Ching states, "Knowing contentment prevents disgrace. Knowing when to stop avoids danger." Contentment is about cherishing what you have, appreciating your current blessings, and letting go of unattainable or unworthy goals. Pursuing unbridled ambitions often leads to discontent and unhappiness. By contrast, Those who understand the value of what they already possess find greater peace and joy. The art of stopping. On the journey of life, mistakes are inevitable, as are wrong turns. When we realize we're heading in the wrong direction, it's wise to stop, reflect, and find a better path. Knowing when to stop is not a sign of defeat but of clarity and courage. As the saying goes, when you reach the end of the road, take a moment to sit and watch the clouds drift by. No matter the situation, stopping at the right time can reveal new opportunities. Living in harmony with nature means accepting each moment with serenity, which allows us to face both success and failure with grace. Practicing natural mindfulness. Once, someone asked a Zen master, "What does it mean to cultivate the way?" The master replied, "When I eat, I focus only on eating. When I sleep, I focus only on sleeping." Perplexed, the person asked, "But everyone eats and sleeps. How is that cultivation?" The master explained, "While others eat, their minds are filled with countless distractions. When they sleep, they're burdened by restless thoughts. True cultivation is being fully present in the moment, free of distractions." In life, embracing natural mindfulness and simplicity can lead to profound peace and clarity. Let go of unnecessary desires, and joy will naturally follow. It's not like that. When they eat, they think about sleeping. When they sleep, they think about eating. But when I eat, I focus on eating, and when I sleep, I focus on sleeping. That's why we're not the same. The splendor of life is nothing more than clouds and mist. When you look at things with clarity and let go of attachments, you'll realize that living in harmony with nature is the best state to be in. Momentary glory inspires admiration, but temporary failure teaches serenity. In the end, life always returns to tranquility. Living in alignment with nature means one neither becomes arrogant in moments of success nor feels inferior in moments of hardship. As recorded in the Yusong Tales, don't concern yourself with gains and losses. Watch the flowers bloom and wither in the courtyard, indifferent to their coming or going. Look up at the sky and observe the gathering and dispersing of clouds. Remember, being content brings happiness. Understanding the vastness of the forest allows one to travel farther. Only by living naturally can people truly savor life. Dear friends, in life, we sometimes encounter difficulties and unsatisfactory situations. Many times we lose control of ourselves. Some fall into despair, giving up with negativity. Yet, there are always those with strong inner resilience. They face life with calmness and poise. Life is inherently like that, filled with joy and sorrow, always presenting challenges for us to grow. You see, encountering hardships isn't necessarily a bad thing. In adversity, we often discover the hidden beauty of life. Life is but a journey, long and drawn out or short and fleeting. Heaven has granted us life and, along with it, challenges and obstacles. These hurdles, whether large or small, may cause us pain and sorrow. But we must not let them steal the smiles from our faces. A genuine smile is both a sign of optimism and an expression of strength. It enables us to overcome all difficulties. Whether standing on a towering peak or wandering lost in a valley, those who smile aren't free of pain. They've simply transformed their suffering into a melody of joy. The one smiling hasn't avoided failure. They've turned it into motivation to move forward. With a smile, life becomes more joyful. If you fear the steep cliffs ahead, your life will forever remain a stagnant pond. On the journey of life, past sorrows have become the past. There are times when, instead of lamenting our troubles, we can choose to face the sun courageously, leaving the darkness behind. Paint the dawn with your smile, fill the gaps with your joy. Only when you've scaled the rugged cliffs can you unveil the magnificent scenery. Life is the same, you can't expect perfection at all times. Regrets are inevitable, and in hindsight, the most vivid memories often stem from those regrets. It's in adversity that we see life's true beauty. Even in hope, don't forget to keep striving. Landscapes will change, meetings will lead to partings, and togetherness will give way to separation. Some people stay in our hearts for a time, bringing warmth. That's the most beautiful kind of encounter. Later in life, as we look back, many events will fade into obscurity, and people from our memories will be forgotten. Yet a few, tied deeply to us, remain. Not every effort brings rewards, but every reward requires effort. This is an undeniable truth. The world is vast, and loving someone is as simple as that. Life, too, leaves no room for hesitation. To move forward often requires immense courage. Stop lingering on the shore, watching other ships set sail. Brave the waves, and one day, as you bask in the evening sunlight across the harbor, you'll realize you've finally set off. No one can return to the past and start over, but anyone can start now and create a brand new ending. When feeling lost or sorrowful, we all need friends to offer a word of advice. It's not that we don't understand these principles. We simply want to hear them from others to reaffirm their truth. In this life, we have countless desires, but ultimately, the greatest yearning is to feel needed, to know that our existence matters. The road is shaped by the experiences we've lived, not the choices we make. Life is a performance, and one day the curtain will fall. Everyone grows older, cherishing what they have because of the long years they've endured. The sincerity shared during life's journey leaves the sweetest aftertaste. Nobody can accompany you throughout your life, so learn to embrace solitude. Life is like a play, and everything is part of destiny. To seek joy in life, you must embrace everything it offers. There will always be unwanted occurrences, but we must learn to accept them. There will be things we don't want to know, but we must understand them. There will be people we can't live without, but we must learn to let go. Every morning, look toward the sunlight and strive forward. Life is about letting go of worries. Though filled with toil and hardship, life offers moments of joy amidst its challenges. After traversing mountains and rivers, when you turn to look back, you'll find happiness hidden in the smallest details. True happiness is but the contentment of the soul. Do not argue with others, do not argue with yourself, and do not argue with destiny. When the heart is free from calculations and comparisons, it is naturally joyful. In truth, we all possess a time machine. One that takes us back to the past, called memory, and another that carries us to the future, known as dreams. Using words to hurt others is the most foolish act. A person who can control their negative emotions is more remarkable than one who conquers a city. Deep waters flow slowly. A wise person knows to speak sparingly. Never argue with anyone throughout your life. Love and live for yourself. That is the key to true happiness. The vastness of the soul has a miraculous power. When your mind expands, everything becomes trivial. When your heart is open, your worries shrink to insignificance. The precious time ahead is limited. Live for yourself, and self-love will guide you to happiness. Just as different species of fish do not swim together in the vast ocean, our souls live in separate worlds created by us. Personal perspectives are like lighthouses illuminating understanding within the boundaries of the sea of knowledge each of us selects and contemplates. Because everyone has different energy frequencies, they exhibit distinct ways of living, make unique choices, and thus create varying behaviors and words. Once you understand this deeply, compassion and love will naturally flow from your heart. You will learn to embrace and understand others better while avoiding unnecessary arguments that disrupt inner peace. Writer Mo Yen once said, "Never argue with anyone your entire life. Even if a pack of wolves confronts you, smile and say they're right." Truly, to live peacefully and comfortably, you must learn not to delve into theories with those who don't understand and not to argue about right or wrong with those who disagree with you. Understanding the truth and remaining silent is a form of wisdom. Seeing through everything but not revealing it is a harmonious approach. Doing good for others is essentially doing good for yourself. As Wang Zhizi wrote in The Way of Heaven, "Nowadays, I no longer argue with anyone because I realize that everyone is limited by their perspectives. Your kindness is merely a sweet candy that creates beautiful memories, while jealousy leaves scars that cannot be erased from others' hearts. Tit-for-tat arguments bring only fleeting satisfaction. If you win the argument, you may lose the relationship. If you lose the argument, you may lose face. Only with respect and acceptance can we build harmonious relationships, the golden key to lasting connections. In a challenging world, yielding demonstrates nobility, and tolerance is a blessing. Knowing what is right but not flaunting it, understanding others without judging them, these are hallmarks of personal maturity. Amid the chaos of the world, if you have an open heart, you can be indifferent to everything and naturally feel at ease. There is no need to worry about life or to be entangled in meaningless disputes or losses. Those who understand you require no explanation, and those who don't understand you will find explanations futile. In this vast world, each of us is like a solitary island floating on a boundless sea. Our ideas and values shape the unique landscape of each island. Though independent, everyone longs to be understood and loved. On life's journey, we encounter various people. Some connect with us deeply and become close friends, while others, incompatible, teach us about the world's diversity and complexity. Ultimately, every encounter is a rare opportunity to learn, to understand others' thoughts, adjust your words and actions, and find resonance amid differences. Over time, you'll realize that true wisdom lies not in arguing about right or wrong, but in remaining calm and rational amid disagreements, accepting diverse voices with an open mind. Only this way can you broaden your horizons and enrich your inner world. Be patient and empathetic when communicating. Don't hastily conclude, "You don't understand me." Perhaps you haven't yet found the right way to communicate. Use tolerance and love to resolve conflicts and create a more beautiful world. Finally, remember, wherever you are, always carry a smile and kindness with you. You never know what scenery or people await at the next corner. However, no matter where and when, maintain inner peace, for your world, your knowledge, and your existence are irreplaceable. Dear friends, time can help us grow, but it may not make us mature. Time certainly makes us age, but it doesn't guarantee we'll understand the brevity of human life. Time is a constant flow, sweeping away memories, joys, and sorrows of life. We chase ambitions through the years, only to look back and realize some things have drifted forever out of reach. Some people spend their youth pursuing fame and status, only to find happiness has vanished along the way. Others live in such a rush that they don't have time to admire the fiery sunset outside the window or feel the warmth of their parents' trembling hands during a visit home. Time silently takes away every precious moment, along with all we cherish, without warning. People often say time heals all wounds, but perhaps it teaches us to coexist with pain rather than forget it. We learn to accept loss, let go of what cannot be held, and love more deeply, knowing our time is finite. As we mature, we come to understand that the most precious things in life are not the dazzling achievements we obtain, but the peaceful, simple moments spent with loved ones. It's sitting quietly one afternoon, listening to an elderly parent recount the past, or the knowing glance of a lifelong friend. And so, when our hair turns gray and our eyes dim, we will not regret having lived a life full of emotions and love. Time may fade memories, but it cannot erase their impact. The marks of love we sow in the hearts of others become the lasting legacy we leave behind. When we part from this world, we can smile peacefully, knowing that we've left a bit of goodness in someone's heart. Time, with its endless flow, can heal external wounds but cannot always soothe the profound pain within. It allows us to meet many people and experience countless events, yet it may not teach us how to let go of things unworthy of our attachment. Many believe that traversing the days of youth, reaching the threshold of middle age, and standing at the stairway of old age is synonymous with maturity. However, true maturity is not merely about growing older but about profoundly understanding oneself and life. Maturity is when we no longer seek perfection in everything around us but learn to accept imperfections. Some people, despite the passing of years and the storms of life, remain trapped in their illusions. They chase fame, power, and status endlessly, only to realize they've sacrificed precious moments. Time with family, warm exchanges of genuine friendship, and serene smiles they once overlooked. Live as if today is your last day. Love abundantly, give generously, and embrace peace in your heart. Because tomorrow is uncertain, and the things we don't cherish today may never return. Every day, we face countless dissatisfactions, frustrations, and uncontrollable situations. If we can change them, that's wonderful. but often we can't. Thus, we must learn to accept them joyfully. Cultivate patience, tolerance, and understanding. Strive to see life and others with gentleness and kindness. Don't be too troubled by failure. Let the past remain in the past and focus on the present moment. Avoid rekindling painful memories or burying yourself in them. Life does not require us to insist on being right. The earth moves continuously, and we must move along with it. History shows that those who act recklessly rarely end well. Therefore, regardless of one's abilities, maintain humility and sincerity. Do your work diligently. If you are gold, you will naturally shine. Amidst troubles, don't forget to smile. In haste, watch your tone. In hardship, persevere. In fatigue, remember to love yourself. A simple life is often the happiest one. Those who find contentment in little joys are often the most joyful. Don't overcomplicate matters. Carrying too much emotional weight will only tire the soul. Like memories, periodically erase what doesn't serve you. Let go of people and situations that disrupt your peace. Each day is a blessing. Life, brief and fleeting, is like a passing breeze. Don't leave yourself with regrets. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Whether you are joyful or sorrowful, the day passes just the same. Don't let trivial matters cloud your mind. If you can let go, you'll find peace. Not all that is remembered brings happiness. Some pain, when viewed lightly, merely refines the soul. The trials of life teach us patience and resilience, nurturing gentleness in us amidst the storms. Life is about empathy and understanding. Carry joy in your heart, and let it gradually dissolve life's bitterness. There are no what-ifs in life, only results. The past cannot be undone. Even if revisited, it would never be perfect. What belongs to others need not be envied. With effort, you too can achieve what's meant for you. Likewise, what you have doesn't need boasting, as others' hard work can yield similar results. Add a little more joy and subtract some worry, and no matter your wealth or status, living simply and smiling daily is the life of a sage. When forced to let go of something, people often feel restless and uneasy. Some wish to release their grip but lack the resolve. A man once asked a monk why he couldn't let go of certain things or people. The monk handed him a cup and poured tea until it overflowed. The man, feeling the heat, instinctively put the cup down. The monk said, "In life, nothing is impossible to let go of. When it becomes painful enough, you will naturally release it." Indeed, we struggle to let go of fame, wealth, love, or success because our hearts remain entangled in their allure. We cling to the hope that they might change or improve, or because they haven't yet crossed the threshold of our tolerance. For example, we find it hard to relinquish love because we still hold onto hopes and dreams of transformation. Those who lack decisiveness are often slow to grasp and slower to release. Only after experiencing significant turmoil or facing mortality do they realize the need for change. When we view people and things with detachment and clarity, letting go becomes easier. Suffering stems from desires. Constantly dwelling on them only exhausts us. It's akin to furnishing a new house. Initially, we fill it with things to satisfy our needs and preferences. Over time, we realize, next year, we discover that the house contains too many things, including things we have never used. At that point, we think about throwing away some of them, but which ones to throw away? Everything seems meaningful, each item holds a memory. Therefore, we cannot bring ourselves to discard anything. In the end, we keep everything. We have to accept living in a small, cramped, and suffocating space. But if one day our house gets flooded and the items get wet or torn, we will easily throw them away. This is when we truly experience pain, we naturally let go. In life, there are many things we should let go of because if we hold on too tightly, they will become a kind of bondage. Letting go courageously is the way to freedom, to liberation, to peacefulness like the drifting clouds. Feelings come and go, but you are not the feeling. Why is the heart sorrowful when it is as fragile as a ray of sunlight, fading away at the end of the day, leaving behind a lonely soul? What is happiness? Where can we find it? People always want to find the harbor of happiness, but they don't understand that happiness lies in the simplest things. Have you ever sat alone in silence and thought about questions like, Who are you? Why are you here in this world? What is the most important thing in your life? The answers depend on the purpose of your life. If your goal is wealth, then money is the most important thing. If your goal is to have a high social status, then career advancement is most important. But if your goal is happiness, then family, love, and spiritual life are what matter most. A happy person is someone who brings happiness to those around them. The most important thing in life is to live in a way that brings you happiness. To do that, you need to bring happiness to your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to bring happiness to yourself with simple pleasures shared with those around you. Life is diverse and rich, so always pay attention to all of these things. When you are sick, someone cares for you. That is happiness. When you are cold, someone embraces you. That is happiness. When you cry, someone consoles you. That is happiness. When you grow old, someone keeps you company. That is happiness. When you are wrong, someone forgives you. That is happiness. When you are struggling, someone sympathizes with you. That is happiness. Happiness is not about how many people you have, but about how many people remain by your side. Happiness is not about driving fancy cars, but about driving safely home. Happiness is not about accumulating wealth, but about having physical and mental freedom every day to do what you love. Happiness is not about how successful or beautiful your spouse is, but about your spouse always smiling brightly. Happiness is not about eating delicious food or wearing nice clothes, but about being healthy and free from calamities. Happiness is not about being praised during success, but about hearing someone say, "I believe in you," when you are at your lowest. Happiness is not about hearing sweet words from others, but about having someone say, "Don't worry, I'm here for you," when you're in sorrow. Happiness is knowing how to let go of life's burdens, feeling free and unbothered by the weather or circumstances. Happiness is the quiet smile of a new morning, the calmness of seeing the flowers fade with the passing of autumn, and knowing that everything is fleeting. Happiness is when, in the quiet of the moment, you watch the sunrise and let go of all worries with the breeze. There are wise sayings that we may already know, like when life gives you a sour lemon, don't fear it, make lemonade or a refreshing lemonade drink. If you approach a situation with a pessimistic and discouraged mindset, the challenges in your life will be like sour lemons. But when you face them with an optimistic and joyful heart, those challenges will turn into a refreshing lemonade. Whether you grimace at the sour lemon or enjoy the refreshing drink depends on how you choose to approach life. When we feel hopeless or stuck in life, take a moment to pause, smile, and remind yourself that this is just a detour, not the end of the road. Everything we have in life is temporary. If things go smoothly, enjoy them, for they will pass. If things don't go well, don't worry because it won't last. Ethics are not like a spare tire to be taken out for show when socializing. Ethics should be like a steering wheel, guiding us on the right path throughout our lives. Happiness is temporary. When others help us solve a problem, thank them, but don't place permanent trust in them. When they can't help, we must trust in our own abilities. Worrying won't solve tomorrow's problems, but it will take away the peace of today. So, live simply, speak kindly, and love sincerely. We all know that the front windshield of a car is much larger than the rearview mirror, and so it is in life. Our past is not as important as our future. However, occasionally, we should glance at the past to learn from it, live fully in the present, and plan for the future. Remember that when we pray for others, the universe listens to our prayers and transmits our energy to them. So, when we feel peaceful and happy, we should remember that someone in the world may have prayed for us. Sometimes, we should look at the world through the eyes of a child, listening to the love in the depths of our heart, just through a simple glance. Have we ever been in a situation where we have so many opportunities ahead of us to choose from, and everyone wants to be perfect to choose the best option? One day, a young student and an old teacher were discussing perfection. The student enthusiastically talked about the desire to seek perfection. The teacher listened carefully and then gently said, "May I ask you to do something for me?" "Yes, I'm happy to. In front of us is a field of grass. Can you pick the most beautiful and perfect blade of grass, with the condition that you can only go forward and not step back?" The young student stood up and began searching for the most perfect blade of grass. From the first step he took onto the grass field, he looked down and saw a lush green blade of grass. He was about to pick it, but then he stopped because, as he looked ahead, he saw other blades of grass that seemed even more beautiful. He continued walking, taking the second, third, and fourth steps, but each time he was about to pick the grass beneath him, he saw other blades further ahead that seemed more perfect. He kept walking, searching for the perfect blade of grass, unaware that he had walked all the way to the far side of the field. Finally, at the very end, with only a small patch of grass before him, he picked the most beautiful blade and returned to where the teacher was waiting. His face no longer had the excitement it had at the beginning, perhaps because he had understood the meaning of what he had just done. Silently, he handed the teacher the blade of grass. The teacher smiled gently, took the blade and said, "You see, my dear, if you had accepted things as they were and not kept searching, you would have found a more perfect blade of grass than this one. Many people in life are like that, always choosing, and in the process they miss out on wonderful opportunities only to regret it later. Think about today's story, my dear. When you simplify complex problems, life will become easier and more relaxed. Don't complicate simple issues. A pure soul doesn't dwell on sadness. Life goes on with its cycles of rain and sunshine. The pain comes only from within, when the heart stirs. Everything in life flows and changes like a stream. In the midst of turmoil, serenity is still beautiful. Have you ever tried sitting still and observing the world around you? You might realize that life never stops changing, like waves constantly lapping against the shore. Often, the waves of worries and anxieties are more frequent than the waves of happiness and calmness. That's why some people read the newspaper and say, "No news is good news." No news means good news. But it's strange that even when the sea is calm, many people don't see it as happiness. They can't sit still. They must stir up trouble and create turbulence to feel alive, to get the attention of others. Could it be that the human soul is so impoverished? Could it be that we live our whole lives with an ego like that of a beggar, constantly seeking happiness through suffering, only to become a victim of that same ego? One of the secrets to living in peace and happiness is to simplify complex issues, to calmly accept everything, and to fully enjoy every moment of peace and joy in life. Right now, happiness is not just about always getting what we want. Happiness is about appreciating and holding on to what we have. Dear friends, you've just watched the content on the Fairy on the Mountain channel, knowledge passed down from the great sages and philosophers in human history. We wish you abundant health, peace, happiness, success, and prosperity. Thank you for listening and taking the time to watch our video. We hope these shares bring positive value to your life. We kindly ask that you generously like and subscribe to the Fairy on the Mountain channel so you don't miss any new videos from us. We always hope to accompany you on your journey to find true peace and happiness. Goodbye, and we look forward to seeing you in our next videos.